Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. In this one, I wanted to talk about something that I'm sure everybody has struggled with, which is being alone. The reason that I bring that up is for 4 of the last 6 years, I've lived with my best friend. And he informed me that come August, so in like 7 months here, he is going to be looking to move out and go move into a place with his brothers. Now, this isn't necessarily set in stone. There is still possibilities for that to change. But either way, it caused me a lot of anxiety, which is not really fair to him. And on the surface, I hope that it came across that I supported him in his decision. I think it does. But it kind of brings up a deeper problem that I think a lot of us face, which is just being alone in general. And the fear and kind of the actions that result from those emotions, which, funny enough, often lead to the problem growing. And I'm sure this is the same for a lot of people, but I lived a lot of my early life alone. And when I say alone, I had my parents around, but I didn't really have friends. And I was an only child up until I was like 7 or 8, I think. And then my dad remarried, so I had some stepbrothers to hang out with. I think one of the reasons that it's so scary for us to be alone is because part of us, it's the instinction, or the instinct of being a pack creature. And in the wild, when an animal that is supposed to be part of a pack is by itself, it doesn't usually survive very long. So it's a survival instinct, to be sure. But even more than that, I think if we are alone, there's something that tells us that we are not doing things right. Because if we were, why would others not want to, or why wouldn't others want to be around us? Why would we be alone if we were on the right path? And I think a lot of people reach the point where they are okay with being alone, but a lot of people never get there. And that's something that is one of my goals, to be able to reach the point where I'm not just okay being alone, but I'm happy with my own company. And that I'm able to be by myself in such a way that doesn't make me feel any less than I would were I surrounded by loved ones. And I think it comes down to practice. Like most things in life, I think the more reps you get doing it, so to speak, the easier it's going to be. But I think it also is just a mindset shift, because deep down, I think for most of us, one of our worst fears is dying alone and forgotten. And that right there is almost just like a ego thing. It's almost like, or rather, it's similar to how we want to leave our mark on the world, how we want to be remembered. And all it is that we're so afraid of death that even in death we want to live on somehow and live on through others. And I think if we can come to the point where we are okay with the knowledge that someday, no matter who you are, no matter what you've accomplished, someday everybody that ever knew who you were will be gone, and there will be no trace of you left in this world, of the life that you're living right now. And if we can just be okay with that and just accept that as the truth, I think it opens the doors for a lot more peace and overall life satisfaction. And if you just come at everything with the frame of someday I will die and nothing that I'm doing right now will be left, no matter what it is, nothing will be left of the life that I am living right now, and that is okay. I think that right there is the first domino that can lead to a life of satisfaction. Because if it stops being about you, the person, the individual living this life, going through these experiences, then the only thing left are the actions, and the only thing left are what you did while you were here. And I think if we can shift our focus to that, we can be okay with that idea that someday we'll be dead and there will be nothing left. But we can also be okay with the idea of being alone in general and not being thought of or remembered even in the present. Now, it's obviously a morbid way to look at it. But I think there's a certain peace that comes with that. And if we can learn to be alone, and we can learn how to be happy alone, then just like that, we are able to cut out all of the compounding stress and suffering that comes from having people in our lives that do not serve our highest good, that do not get us towards what we are trying to accomplish. And if we can just be okay with that and be okay with being alone, then I think it will lead to an overall more fulfilling life. Sorry, I thought I just heard somebody talking. But I'm kind of talking in circles. I think it's okay to be alone. And it takes a while to feel okay, knowing that if you fall, there may not be anybody coming to help you up, so to speak. And that if we can get to that point, then the only people that we will tolerate in our lives are the ones who add to it instead of subtracting from it. And kind of like the saying, like, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you can reach the point where everybody that you keep in your life, and I don't mean like extended family and things like that. Like, obviously there are people that, you know, will be there to reach out to, and maybe they reach out to you now and then. But I'm talking about the ones that you spend most of your time with. If you can get to the point where all of those people are helping each other and you towards the lives that you all want to live, and you have a unified set of goals and ideals and values, it's okay to think differently. But I think if you're going in the same direction, everybody's efforts and resources and just overall energy and love can compound to propel the group further. And I know that, back to the whole reason why I'm even thinking about this, I know that with my best friend, that if he were to leave, it wouldn't change anything. He would still be my best friend. I wouldn't see him probably anywhere near as much. And I obviously wouldn't live with him. But the love would still be there. But sometimes you just gotta let people go their own paths. And if that's the path that he's going, who am I to do anything to lead him astray from that? Or rather, if that's the path he wants to go. And I think if we can all just take that approach towards the people that we love in our lives, especially when it comes to things like closer relationships, whether it be dating or otherwise, then we can really truly show up for the people that we care about in a way that is totally not selfish, and in a way that is purely there to help them in whatever way that you're capable of. And by default, or as a result, they would hopefully do the same for you. So if you ever see this, love you, bro. I don't know how things ended up turning out, but I know that you're going to be good no matter where you go. And thank you for spending as much time as you did building with me. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to get back home here, and yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side.